the top two have drawn to a close. Arcred, 11 eliminations on the southeast side. Influence Rage with nothing right now.
That was not Coops at all. It was all Rafina.
Wait, what?
That was crazy. He's just tapping through the smoke. He was knocking them left, right, and center. And he was just spraying across. That was incredibly on target. Like I said, it was like playing battleships there for Loops. And finally, they do sink Weibo. And because Weibo doesn't have a big game here, it's still all up for grabs. If they did get a strong game on this match with Alter Ego and Inner Circle out, that could have been them securing their position to the top one. Very sad. Very, very sad for them.
Nades over Loops. They might have sunk a Weibo ship, but the Alliance trying to roll on in. Ooh, a team nade on the run out. I mean, it's a team molly. And another one. Ooh, Alliance absolutely have this fight in hand right now. Loops looking like a different team. But the Wolves, the Wolves, they're moving on in. They're on the hunt. As a pack they go. Igor, Coops first in, and now Batten and Doran raging on through. Luke's not going to be able to control it on the back lines. The nades are here though, and the bounce out is going to connect over on towards Doran. The Wolves send straight into the wall. The Molotovs to burn, and they've used a lot of nades over towards Loops. Really not going to go for the resupply. That goes long, but it connects onto Batten. Doran is bleeding, and Coops is low. Where's the last player for the Wolves? They send all the way over the circle, and they're getting sent dizzy.
The Wolves got down to 2 players. The Fangs blunted on that push. Nice nade over towards Ratto Boy, but just not quite on target. Needs to get through to the other building. Coops now sending in, I believe it's a smoke there to try and cover off the door. Alliance also finding a lot of shots here, but the Wolves just can't quite find the value. They might get one elim off the back of this.
Stepping forwards, they're trying to get this crawlback covered off, so he knows he's going to go for the peak. Jimmy takes the window, moves out to try and control the ground. Healing needing to happen as well. You don't really have time for the res right now. The Wolves are going to hop in. The blue zone is pushing. Jimmy needs to be more on this push, but the Wolves slow down. They allow that one. The sticky on in, looking to try and get that flush. Is going to push them out of the way. Igor's so low, but he steps forwards. Not sure if he has any more healing to be putting on board, but has to step back to start to enact it.
Yeah, it's just a disgusting amount of chip damage that the Wolves are taking. I don't even know where it's coming from. In the meantime, Influence Rage chilling on the east side. They are happy as can be. He backs off. The Wolves push slightly further forward. Nova sightline's quite on this yet, but you can hear the tags inside the building. Getting close.
Ooh. Ah, that's where they were coming from. Look at 9Z Globan's layout. They've got 4 players here, Blank. They are doing quite a bit, it has to be said, from this angle. We'll see what more they can find as Arcred do go down. They have up on 65 points, though, Blank. That is a real jump up from their start of the day. And they too are within striking distance. They were definitely on the list of teams I was counting out, but they've really changed the story. 9Z Globan, let's see if they can make up for lost games in that last one. Hopefully putting it to the back of their mind and not thinking about it too much, because they do have a run out to go for. The question is, where do you go right now? Because Influence Rage, the only team that's more towards the center of the circle, and they got 4 players.
Yeah, everyone's having a horrible time, just so you know. Next circle, if it goes center, everyone might just die in the next 2 minutes. And it does. That forces everyone out of position. This is such a disgusting final zone. Yeah, it doesn't favor anyone. For Influence Rage, they wished it went over towards the northeast side. A team in 6th place looking to chase would have been huge for them. For the Flash, this is all about placement points. Getting over towards top 4 would be fantastic to place them further in contention for that top 2. But this is so closely fought, and it's been so closely fought for so long.
Absolutely. On tenterhooks right now to see the conclusion, but Jimmy seems to have the lineup. Igor goes through, about able to avoid the storm, but steps into another one. But he's got one of his own to dish back on out, and now Coops looking for that bandage. Doesn't have a first aid to play with, and Jimmy already on the bunny hops, hopping his way over, and Coops can't keep his cool under pressure in that one. Influence Rage wanting to flex out a big round.
Nice.
An Alliance fall next. A third party to stop another competitor. And 90 Global are falling out in the meantime. Influence Rage, they're moving in, taking down Team Flash, starting to put the pressure onto everybody in the lobby. They've been quiet for a while, but they take the opportune moment to flex it out.
Yeah, it's a fantastic push for Influence Rage. They even leave a backstop over towards the east side as that secondary angle. Really, really well done. I think Influence Rage absolutely deserved to win this game. In the midst of all this chaos, they even get lured towards the center of the circle. Oh, I love this from this team. This is some classic Brazilian gameplay.
And now they're looking for the last. Quick is out for Gen G. They want to keep it going, but he's put to sleep quickly. It's Influence Rage looking to mount their ascent as well. Every single team that's won a game today, Blank, has done so at a crucial juncture. And now the Brazilians will join them too.
Yeah, honestly, such a good game for Influence Rage there. I don't think you could ask for that end game to be played any better, honestly. So well done. But now we're heading over towards Miramar. That was our final Erangel of the day. No more classic wins. But to be fair, a lot of those circles were really brutal, especially that last one. And I think for Influence Rage, they see the circle and they understand we need to make a play for gold right now. And like I said, everyone was going to go down the next 2 minutes. It was sooner than that.
Well, let's head back over to the desk to break it down. Every Erangel is done. We're over to Miramar next. What have you guys got to say?
Influence Rage pull out the chicken dinner in the final Erangel of the last chance, and oh, did they needed it. They were in the third place position at the start of this max, man. They dropped down to 5th, but with this win, it's definitely got to kind of push them back up to possibly grab one of those top 2 spots. What a finish from this Brazilian squad.
I mean, what a game. So controlling, so decisive, so snappy, especially going for the right fights at the right time, as Blank said at the end of that game. This is classic Brazilian gameplay. How aggro they were was actually crazy in this game. And look, even the stragglers at the end are like, yeah, we're just going to push it. We want those eliminations. Do you think you're going to be allowed to deny that point to the blue zone? Hell no. You're now house. And this is going to be our point to get. 2-2-2 split across Law, Lil Boy, and Federal. Jago not getting much as he goes out earlier in this game. But regardless, wait, zero down. They, no, wait, is this correct? Wait, is this correct?
No.
Is this? No.
Wait, no knockouts. Wait, guys, wait.
I
hold
don't
on.
think. I do not believe this. If this is
I do
real,
not
this
believe.
is mad.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, no, that can't be right. That can't be right. Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna
They
move
got that
past
in at the
that
end
real
too.
quick.
So this is different.
Yeah. Yeah,
Actually, no, it wasn't a knock.
sure.
It was an instant elimination. Oh no, maybe they did get 0 knocks because that was an instant. They didn't go the knock. It went right into a finish because it was the final player. Maybe they did get 0 knocks there. That makes sense actually because it was instant every time. The final player of Alliance was Jimmy. So that tracks. The 0 damage though taken is crazy.
The 0 damage taken is crazy. It also tracks out with the amount of damage that they delivered, right? Because there's like less than 200 for most of them, so that does make sense that they were picking off knocks that were already down. So okay, interesting, cool. I mean, that's a fantastic win coming out of them. I want to say specifically that the push over onto Alliance was fantastic because that gave them 2 compounds now to use as a springboard against the rest of the lobby. Oh, what a nade coming in from Weibo. But I'm really happy with how Influence Rage actually used that.
Yeah, I mean, I want to pay attention to this in particular. How were loops? I want to say it's a mix of skill and luck. How do you hit those shots through the smokes at that kind of range? Just is beyond me. I have no clue how that worked out. And you know what? Fair to Wolves, super willing to third party, right? And I'm sure like they go for the third party, they eliminate all of Weibo, then they wrap behind Alliance, start to make that entry point onto Alliance and Loops combined. Wolves, I think, are feeling how desperate they have to be to make that climb. And you know what? So far, it paid off getting 8 points on this game.
Yes,
That's
great
something.
stuff coming in there. It's actually Jukes. Wait, hang on. Sorry. There's 8 points for Gen G, Alliance, and Wolves. Alliance and Wolves both need those points and are very, very close to each other. So that's going to be an interesting thing going into Miramar here, where they're getting those. They're kind of tying up here.
Yeah, it's definitely going to push them up a little bit. I still think they're going into the desert, though. They're going to need a win. I think they definitely need to. I love the fact that Wolves pushed onto Weibo, right? Not just considering that they need those eliminations, guys, but they knew that Weibo was right there. And considering that that's the team that's in the top spot, you can make that risk to take out that team early, you have to take it. You have to, because if those top teams get more points, no matter what you do, it's just not going to work out. So I like the fact that Wolves were active. I even like that crazy wraparound push towards the end there for them, but it's just unfortunate they had 2 go down.
Yeah, it was a little bit rough. Still a really good attempt, though. Looking at Arcrid, they got 11 eliminations, 1 placement point, going absolutely ham in the mid-game section of this match, and actually able to completely outplay Inner Circle. And looking at Inner Circle,
yeah,
2 points. I was looking at their position this game. In my opinion, massive throw from Inner Circle. You have one of the best positions this entire game on Pachinki Hill, and they go for this 2-2 split, putting 2 players away from Pachinki Hill, which reduces the defense you set up in that position, and Arcrid just completely demolish you on that fight. I think Inner Circle were just not setting themselves up for success. Compared to Federal, that definitely was set up for success this game, and finally, you know what? He was benched for a little bit, Hiniptura, but he's back and swinging hard with that MVP award for this match.
He is back, he is swinging, he's doing all the things, and that is exactly what you want to see when you're going into the final 2 games of the day of the league stage for PMGC, right? When it's all down to the wire, when whether you move on to finals or you go home tomorrow comes down to 2 more games. This is a fantastic win for them. I love the mentality we saw in that last game, right? To just, they flipped the switch. They just went from we're sitting in a compound taking shots at different teams to actually we are going to win the whole thing, and they just went for it into the field. I love seeing that. It does put them up into 4th place. They are tied with Inner Circle, so Inner Circle have only gotten what 3 points in the last 2-3 games, but they're still in that top 5. It's still all to play for, Max.
Holy moly, look at Arcrid, 13th position at the start of the day. These last 2 games have been just fantastic for this team from Uzbekistan. They've been 6th rank, and genuinely, they are, what is that, 16 points away from top 2 from Ultra Ego? Maybe they could do one of the biggest comebacks we've ever witnessed here at PMGC Hot Jukes.
It's possible. It is possible. I mean, it's going to leave it up to Miramar here. So many squads. I love how close this is, guys, because, I mean, even if you go down to, like, I mean, you can go pretty far down on the leaderboards if teams win back-to-back chicken dinners, right? But it's still so possible here. So I want to see teams just go out, like, crazy here, right? You got nothing to lose. You got to make it happen. But, you know, Niptura, I really want you to break down probably one of the hardest things we've seen so far, right? And that is Inner Circle. It's very reminding of the Wolves during the Gauntlet, right? Because on the final day, the Wolves won Rondo and then nothing during Aaron Gale. And it's the same thing here, right? For Inner Circle. 4 points in 3 matches of Aaron Gale. I mean, how do they bounce back here in Miramar?
Oh, it's gonna be tough. I think when they won the Rondo, I was a little bit worried because that's the same thing they did in Group Green, right? They had the first game on Rondo, massive elims. We were like, that's it, they're done, they're ready to go to finals, and then they did nothing the rest of the day. Actually, the rest of the 3 days. So I saw that today and I went, oh, I really hope you turn this around and do something with it. They've done a little bit, but not anything what we need to see from them. For me, it feels like they're trying to be too big brain just slightly here with that 2-2 split they were trying to do over Pachinki. I understand they're trying to find more reach, but that was not the place to do it. That was not the time to do it. Once the zone shifted away, they were way too slow on the rotate. They were trying to gatekeep other teams, and for them who thrive in the end game, I think that was the wrong play. They needed to actually prioritize the next zone a lot more than they did. So hopefully in the Miramars, where there's a little bit more room to actually make those big rotations, then I'm hoping that's what we're going to see here, Jukes.
Max, if Weibo win this next match, they're going to the finals. That's a fact, right?
Yeah.
So, what do other teams do to try and stop the squad? I mean, do you think you just play a regular match and hope for the best? Or if you happen to realize that this team's there, you go for them? What do you think?
I don't know. You know what? I genuinely, it's down to every team what they want to try and execute this game. Could you try and target the top teams? Yes, but I think they're just going to try and play their own game and try and just get a good finish here. Make it top 3 is going to be very important for these squads. So I'm looking at so many teams, just don't take early skirmishes. Avoid it like the plague. Keep the team alive until circle 5, 6, 7, and maybe you have a chance to make that redemption arc and go into the top 2.
You're right. It's just too close at this point, guys. We're going into the desert here. Last 2 matches. Who could possibly get one of these last 2 spots?
Few points here and there ahead to get in towards that top 1, top 2, and I think that even top first and second place is going to be very close together.
It does seem that way. It does seem that way at the moment. I mean, we were talking about it, you know, getting over 100, you're starting to get in the conversation. Getting over 110, you're feeling okay. Over 120, you're feeling very safe. But those numbers are slipping down and down as time goes on, Blank, with only 2 maps left to play. And we've still got, you know, maybe 20 points or so still to add towards those tallies. It's really not looking like we... I wouldn't be too surprised if we don't even break the century. I think that... that's definitely a possibility moving forwards. I think 88 points, 12 points in 2 matches, it may just not happen.
Heading over towards the northwest side here. Overall, Alter Ego has had some good splits on this map. But again, it's that greed that they need to really rein in a little bit. Team like Smaug at the moment. Flash only 1 point behind on 80. Influence Raid on 77, tied within a circle. Goodness me. I mean, I'd be happy if Weibo, Alter Ego, the Flash, Influence Rage, all in a circle got into the top 2. No matter which one of those teams get in, I'd be very pleased to see them in the grand finals. I think they all deserve it at this point. All of them so close towards the top. Just a little bit sad. I think I'm most sad about some of these squads not making it through in the gauntlet. And we could have had a very ridiculous lobby going through in towards the grand finals.
I mean, I think no matter what, we kind of do have a pretty ridiculous lobby going in towards the grand finals. It's just a question of who will make up those last 2 spots. We've already decided the majority of our players, and actually some of them are already over there, Blank, getting stuck in, getting ready, prepared on site. They'll have time to settle in, which would be nice for them, but it is very much more unrested here at the last chance stage. Weibo looking to defend that top spot again, and 2 opportunities now to have come up big in matches that could have really changed the tide and locked them in, but it's not to be.
In the circle, starting in Picado. Not a bad approach to the north side of the map around El Pozo. Falcons get to start early there. They do enjoy this spot. The Wolves in Monte Nuevo as well also have a good run out towards this position. Alter Ego and Weibo a little bit further out, and they have to deal with that wall of squads around Power Grid, San Martin, as well Hacienda. So a little bit more difficult to rotate through there, but still possible. Still very, very possible. We'll wait and see, though. I think that, again, this next 5 minutes probably going to be very quiet, very slow, methodical on the rotates.
That's what you hope. That's what you hope to see. But it is now really do or die in the desert here. Influence Rage after that chicken dinner sit right now 4 points behind the bubble. Definitely in with a chance in a circle as well. The exact same spot, but losing the tiebreaker right now. I think the most interesting additions to this middle of the pack are Arcred and Geeky, right? Geeky, I mean, I don't know how they did it, but last match may have been just a little bit too slow for them. They did massive, massive performances at the start of the day, but it has petered out just a little bit, and they find themselves 58, which, you know, being 22 points behind the bubble, 23 points behind the bubble now. Yeah, that's a tall order when everybody else is ahead of you also trying to chomp down on that lead.
Yeah, look to make some cash on these next 2 games. Like I said, gonna be slow here. El Pozzo, kind of a regroup coming through from the Falcons. They still have an outpost over on the eastern side, up on the mountaintop. They are sort of on a 3-1 split. I think IQ knows, though. You can see here on our screens. He has a good idea of where a player from the Falcons is playing. Pretty typical spot to hold as well, so fair enough for him to immediately point that out.
Novalo on the high ground. Already out to the east side. A little bit split from the rest of the team, and let's hope that they don't maintain too much of a split for too long, Blank, but I mean, the Falcons should be done. There's no real chance of them making it their way on in, but they are top performers here on Miramar, and that is mostly because of their one massive game on Miramar. That only comes from the stats from yesterday, and we saw what they could do with the high ground. Will it go to the high ground again? I mean, it's not impossible. Oh, Redox, he might not be going to the high ground, though. He tried. He tried his very best.
Skating it down the hill. Fair enough. Yeah, we're definitely just waiting for the first circle here, because this first circle, or second circle, I mean, but this first circle can contain so many players. It's really not a big deal for a lot of our squads. It's unlikely we'll see initial skirmishes. It really depends how aggressive teams want to get. It looks like for Alter Ego, that's very.
They're going to try and chase this one down. Dammy trying to heal up, trying to get a little bit of healing on board before the fight comes to him. Alva's here. They will not give him the time to do so. He steps out, not even going to take any damage in response. Has to step back in. The rest of Gen G are taking shots out towards them, but it's too late to save Dammy. You're not going to be able to recover that one. And first blood is drawn. And it is on our second place bubble team. They get that point. They're now one further point ahead. And as we know, single points make the difference.
I can make all the difference. If the Wolves, one additional point was awarded from yesterday, but they're not quite there yet to make that additional point count. So we will wait and see. In the circle down towards that south side, you can see here, you have a little bit of a wide split on. It's not quite as ridiculous as some of the splits we've seen. But they are trying to control a lot of space on the south side of El Pozzo. And we got 20 seconds now before we see the first zone shift. And this could be quite diabolical, right? Could head over towards El Pozzo. Oh my god, Alter Ego is just not stopping.
And they're going for Influence Rage as well, Blank. The team in 4th place right now. The nade over is good, though. And they may be delivering them points when it matters the most to not allow them to come on through. The circle shifts out to the east side, Blank, out towards San Martin, and Weibo Gaming sit right in the middle of it. But the nades keep on coming. And Alter Ego and Influence Rage may just tear each other apart here. You've got Gen G on the south side and Alliance on the north. Both teams could have access to this location and get a third party stuck in.
Alter Ego being extremely aggressive. I think I like this decision from them. They just leave. They just leave. There's no reason to stay here anymore. They'll play on us 3. For them, they understand that right now, probably 6 to 8 points is what they're looking for, right? Anything lower than that is going to hurt their chances. In a circle, move over towards the Burmese ghouls. Yakker with a nade inside the building, switches to the S12K, looks for the big spray down, but not quite finding any value just yet.
He's going to step out into the open, and Geek here in the hills around it. Falak spots him as he bounces the nade off the backboard, and Noki able to slam dunk it. The alley-oop coming through from inner circle to be able to find the first. Over onto the Burmese ghouls, who have rocked up on the north side of things, and no knocks sent back towards inner circle. They're actually only sent towards Geek up on the hills to the south. So nice news for, again, team 5th place now, neck and neck still with Influence Rage. Team Flash, though, looking to join the fighting as well as Geek clash with them on the south edge. It is still going, and every team in the top 5 is getting aggressive.
They're getting stuck in. They're absolutely getting stuck in. Flash with 2 limbs is really big news for them. Push them a little bit closer. Geek, Kevin, fast left here, alongside with Nerzed. Shots do come through, but the angles are all over the place. Rosemary gets knocked by Geek. The Flash is still helping.
Team Flash, they're up into second place now, just about. Rosemary crawling back, looking for the res. Gen G keeping them on lockdown. This is really central on the circle, but they are just going to keep themselves alive for a little bit longer. Alva steps out, gets the knock, and just about dodges the damage from the nade as well. This is a really good pickup for them, and Alter Ego may just be there. Snape not going to be playing with them this time around anymore. They are busted down to 3. And Quick sits across the road. I don't think you can go for that cross. I don't think you want to go for that cross.
Oh, not entirely. Nades are still coming through from Satan up on high, though. And Quick looking to find those jump outs if an nade gets a little bit too close. Wonder how Gen G is going to play this. Yeah, for Alter Ego, they've got very aggressive in this game. I think they want to close things out here and now from the way that they're playing. They just want a big match, and it is that a little bit of impatience. I can understand it for a lot of our squads. You know, you want to get ahead as quickly as possible.
I mean, you need it, right? But everybody's doing the same thing. Maybe just trying to batten down the hatches would be a good idea. The Falcons still on a 1 kilometer split at this stage on the position that they hold is crazy. Redox finds himself in a wild spot. Papra Supermassive of the Wolves now going back and forth. The knock onto Coops, Resable for the next about 50 seconds. After that, it's going to get a lot tougher. So the Wolves need to make sure that that's coming on through. I think they are picking them back up. Get that healing through. Papra Supermassive still under threat. The spray down onto Nico doesn't connect, but it does a little bit of damage. He's looking for more and shuffling around, looking for the healing as well. Igor not quite able to find the angle. The healing comes through, but is it going to be enough? The blue zone's still here, and Coops is back in the fight.
Yes, it's such an uncomfortable delay now for the Wolves. Molotov is in, cuts him to the corner, but the nade is... The pin's put back in there. I really don't think he should have done that. The nade doesn't do any damage. I think whilst that Molotov was forcing him into the corner, that's where you send the nade in. Yeah, this fight's taking way too long.
No nades for Nico. Dropping the smoke, just trying to stall this one out. Make it not worth it anymore, but the Wolves are pursuing their prey doggedly. They are just so set on getting this one. They do still have a little bit of time here. Maybe to play around with us. Red and Balls are clashing in the meantime. Igor stepping up, but they're just getting sprayed down. They're getting tagged back, and Baton actually falls to the spray. Papra Supermassive, it's not been possible to hold this, and he finds the second. Wolves, no! The Coops is going down as well. Kamikaze does get knocked in response, but they've lost half of their players. They stay far too long, and Papra Supermassive will punish.
It's so uncommitted there from Baton. I think he should have just kept pushing his teammate. If he gets knocked upstairs, that's way better than getting knocked as he's running away from the solo player. And you got to trust in your teammate to refrag that, right? I think the mistake comes that they just don't trust in one another there. Our Wolves will suffer because of it. Again, this is such a long journey they have to make. I think Wolves won't get a good game off of this one, and that might have just killed their run.
May well have done. A lot of casualties being felt across the board. Geek are down to 1. Papra Supermassive now down to 1, as we've just saw. Well, pretty much as Kamikaze will bleed out. Gen G on 2. But the Wolves and Arc Red going down so low is the big news here. Arc Red, again, not able to jump up. And the fact that Team Flash are on 3 elims, Alter Ego on 2, both of them in this next circle, along with Weibo, that is a terrifying prospect for the teams looking to chase. But maybe Influence Rage on the north side towards Crater Fields can change that.
Yeah, I think it really is coming down to this top 5 now, especially as we get in towards our next game. It's going to be this top 5 battling it out for first and second place. I think we are just losing too many squads around the middle of the pack there. Wolves like to go down a little bit sooner. Oh my goodness me. Okay, Redux. Go off, I suppose.
Hit some of the 1v3 on the DBS shutdown. Look at the rest of the team. They're all the way out the west flank. That was a full 1v3 against the Burmese Ghouls. Redox, he's been delivered. And now calling for the rest of his team to come and help, come and back up my position because it's in the circle. What more could you want? Arc Red down to 1 player as we zoom in on Ramses. Just as the nade connects, Snoix blasts him back on the staircase and they fall 65 points and 1 match to play.
I think for the Boars, you know, I think they've stepped up in a big way. I think it's been a really good learning experience for them. 100%. And I think that teams might be a little bit more worried when they have to come back up against them in their own region. Nico says bye-bye to the camera.
Bye-bye.
And likely bye-bye now to their chances going through to last chance entirely. After Supermassive down on 31 points. Big disappointment for me personally. I think Papa Supermassive has some unbelievably good players. Genuinely, I think they got lost in the sauce at PMGC.
Yeah, I mean today especially, who can blame them? It's been crazy what has happened today. Ooh, Gen G knocking themselves. That's very close to the middle, though. I think they are just dropping down from the high ground there, potentially. Weibo, no elims just yet. But the Boars, maybe, stepping into the firing line against them. They're giving a lot of ground here. Weibo are allowing the Boars up and to this ridge line. They don't need to hold this side of the compound, but okay, no, Soup does rebuff them a little bit. He's backed off himself, however, and has to go for the first aid. Oh, stuck into the bandages. He's only got the one. It's precious.
Yeah, you got to hold on to that. I think this is fine from Weibo, playing this close. You don't really want to play any closer than this jump, personally. You just take shots at them as they crest the ridge. I'm kind of curious to what Weibo wants to do next, though. Do they want to fight this, or do they want to back away? Sook's looking to maybe get an off angle on this one.
Keeps looking for him, and Halflick again is spotted, darting around, scattering like a school of fish as the shark approaches. But it's Alliance, actually, taking shots from back up north. They're taking the third-party shots, and the Boars really can't put too much pressure on because of it. Team Flash, they sit on the south side, and this is a very split single solo player right now under the pressure from Inner Circle, who actually divert away from it. Looks like they want to play more on the south side as T24 hops in for the buggy. And they are figuring out where they want to go right now.
For Inner Circle, it is awkward, but I think that this crash over towards the Flash is probably the smart decision to go for. TS gets in the buggy, drops back out again, and Inner Circle, goodness me, Falak taking a whole lot of damage. That Molotov should do the trick.
Just about. The first aid came through just in time for Falak, hopping through, burning into the smoke. As the spray down to the back line, going to suppress the rest of the roster. 90 Globan getting stuck in. Falak still lighting up the shack. The weapon swap is there. Steps in and just about wins the trade. The flashes are coming through, though, onto the rest of Inner Circle. They've lost one. So have Team Flash. So have Alter Ego. These teams around the bubble are now starting to suffer. But this hillside claimed by Inner Circle. Next circle shift comes through.
I reckon people will analyze that to death. That was a very clutch play there from Falak. Super mechanically gifted. Gets hit by the Molotov, immediately jumps into the buggy closest to the shack, jumps back out again, and then just waits for those shots to come through. The prediction on when the shots would stop there through the smoke was really good as well. But for Inner Circle, they are down to 2. So no matter how flashy you can be here, I don't know if they'll be able to get the points total upwards to take on Weibo and the Flash here, and potentially Alter Ego, who has held this very safe and passive position on the eastern side for quite a while.
They are hopefully going to keep racking up elims later into the game. That's what they're looking for. Against Weibo and Boars, though, and Alliance potentially look at a crash or take control of their position, take shots that way. It could be dangerous. Falcons did not manage to fully regroup onto the position. And Ralph will go down. They're nading out right now towards Loops, but Team Flash gets central. Blank, they are into a compound. And again, they're in second place right now. This is not what Alter Ego wanted to see.
Some pretty nice nades, honestly, from the Falcons. Not quite finishing the job just yet, though. Does tag on. Smoke train set up to try and get a little bit closer to get those nades into position. But I think now, with the Flash being here, the Falcons would rather chill things out. Sadly, they are at the back of the queue between these two teams. Flash and Loops ahead of them. No ammo on the Evercam. Oh, now he does.
Got a little bit more. A little bit more to play with now. Weibo slowly creeping forwards. Teams breathing down their neck. The Boars, the ones to step up to the plate against Duke. He'll immediately find that first knock. Step back. That is a bold peek from Sook, going for another one there after already taking some damage. And rightly so, has to tuck back in. There goes his first aid. That'll be topping him back up. Hero Pulling a little bit further back, and Sook under pressure from nades now. Doesn't quite go the distance. Snowex not able to connect. Drops the smoke, and Weibo regroups south. They're looking to move in, and actually might be able to find the corner of Falcon compound right now that Narvalo is stretched out towards. The question is, will he be able to hold? Because the Boars are rampaging in behind them as well. Could be a third party to assist on this push, because Sook still holding that backline.
Huge shots from Sook there. Sadly, 33Z is down, and it's all down to Hero, but he gets taken out by Snowex once again. Absolute menace inside the lobby. They're hoping to keep 3 players alive. Hero's trying to wrap away as fast as he can, but Snowex is not going to let it happen, which drops Weibo down to just 2 players.
Havlik down as well. 2v2. An Alter Ego could potentially flex out for a third party, but I don't think they want to leave the safety for too long. Rosemary back on in. It is going to be the first pickup. Sook again, just storming through this one. Now up to Snowex, looking for the shot down, looking for the shots. Snowex falls, but Narvalo is moving. He's moving for the Falcons out of the corner of the compound. He's going to be the one to move up a third party. Just all remains, and he spots him. It's Narvalo to slay Weibo. And now they are down with 91 points, locking it in there. That is, I mean, it's not the century blank. They are 9 points shy. There are teams that can step up through this.
I mean, it's a crazy flex out from Narvalo. Again, though, weird 2-2 split from Weibo, allowing the 2 players through. And then to be quite fair, 33Z and Hero have such a weak source defense on that. If I'm Order as well as Sook, I'm a little bit disappointed in my teammates, honestly. So for Weibo, that's a very frustrating way to finish here on this game. The Flash chasing, Alter Ego chasing. Good shots from Alliance towards Influence Rage, but they've dropped 2 players already.
Ooh, and placement points are coming in as well. Influence Rage should be able to get the res onto Law. They have got the time. Little Boy with the high ground, hunting ground underneath him. Alliance under a lot of pressure here. They're both going to have to move at similar times. I think Alliance just about closer to the zone. And that backstop will have to move, but they have the vehicle there. And Little Boy can't expend too much ammo. For Influence Rage, they've been on this north side, and they only have 1 elim so far. Law's still down. There's Team Flash. Oh, Team Flash. Team Flash getting eliminated there. And that goes through to Loops and Falcons, taking 1 apiece. So second place is now stopped dead in its tracks. For Alter Ego, for Influence Rage, that's some more good news.
Some great news. And for the way that Influence Rage is currently playing the lobby, might be able to push themselves quite far ahead here in this game. However, towards a second place, potentially even a first if it's a ginormous match. They have 4 players. They have high ground to work with. 9Z Global on the sidelines. Alliance pushing through now, but great shots from Krypton. Now looking at the flush as well, which is very, very important to Alter Ego, and they do grab it.
Making sure that they can keep up the numbers as well. Alliance do manage to get the flush onto Law, so that is now Influence Rage on 3. Little Boy still up on the high ground, actually. They're going to heal and stay out wide. He's really committing to this. They're really committing to this. He knew he was going down there, Blank. I'm not too sure what he was darting out for. Not playing on his 3, though, for Influence Rage. Feels like a misstep.
Yeah, I mean, if he grabs that angle and is able to dart back in, sure. But for Influence Rage, that just feels like a mistake to me. Good shots from Diego so far. We'll find Leon. First aid kits. Quite a few of them there for Influence Rage, and quite a few bandages as well. For Alter Ego, this is their big chance. Right? This is their big chance. Hopefully they just don't get shot through a blanket of smoke by Loops, who seem to be playing in a submarine. Working off radar, apparently.
Can't see him that way. Absolutely. The Falcons joining them in their compound as well.
Oh, they are.
Put up a good point.
Thing.
There we go. Yeah. Submarine Commander Neil Zada. Was the hunt for Alter Ego. Continues. Their run out is really, really tricky. They're right up into the edge of it. 9Z Globum, by the way, with a big lineup on this western edge. 4 players, high ground. They're looking pretty good right now, Blank. I wouldn't be too surprised if they're able to find a chicken dinner, but we know what they're like when they're on the high ground. They just jump straight off.
Exactly. This is worrying. There is a cliff involved here for 9Z Globum, but it could be a big chicken dinner for them, which again sucks away points from teams that desperately want them. Initial knock here for the Falcons, and that nade does not do the trick. It's a double. Falcons looking for more here over towards Vitin.
Koa moving around, looking for that flush. Neilzada spotted on the inside, but Vitin stepping through. Alter Ego crashing in the meantime. This is a beautiful opportunity for them to sweep through. Loops are down. Falcons now need to hold. There are only 2 players alive, and Koa gets mashed up. Redox jumps out wide, finds Alva, darts back behind the wall, and will look for the first aid, but might not have time. Rosemary stepping forward. Rosemary stepping forward. The Falcons, they have 10 elims, but Alter Ego now up on 6. They can look up to the high ground and wonder why they aren't up there themselves, though, because the circle's here. And 90 Global are crashing in. Influence Rage, they're starting to step through, and everything's popping off now.
Gen.G doing a great job here, having Satan fighting off against 9Z Globan. Very difficult task, but made it happen regardless. Alliance getting a lot of revenge here over towards Influence Rage. Just Diego on the high ground, but Jimmy so low. Might just be able to get this res off. 4 elims on the game into a top 3 as well, John. That's big points, but is it enough?
90 Globan, yeah, they're going to spot Federal. No way that Diego can get that res. He just doesn't have the time. Alter Ego now moving out. 90 Globan have isolated themselves up onto the top of a hill. Oh, it's nasty, but they're moving now back down through. Alter Ego have used this opportunity to move in. In the meantime, they're playing as 2. They don't have the numbers to fend this off fully, and they're hoping that Diego can put a dent into 9ZG's hold. Diego, though, will not be able to do so. Rosemary, Krypton, what have you got?
No matter what happens here, to be honest with you, for Alter Ego, 6 elims in a 2nd place, that's a good amount of points. They love a chicken dinner. Highly unlikely versus these angles. I think 9Z Globan should have this under wraps.
By rights, yes. But I mean, there's another circle.